What's up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to Ellen Dresser. We are back in our lovely cleric temple at the brand at the top of the Red Wall mountain range. I hope that everybody is doing well. I know that everybody in the chat today has been varying on their levels of spoonage, but today we do have Mars, Tats, Katie, Shen, B, and for the first time, David. Hello,
Yeah.
everybody, and welcome in.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, hi.
Hello, hello.
Yo.
So, this is a new thing for the stream. It's not a new thing for us in general, though. I've known David for a while, and we go way back. We go way back.
Mhm.
But David is going to be a guest NPC for us today. David has been briefed on a bunch of different things about the character, about the world, about the things that that character would know. The guys in the party don't know that they are about to meet this character. They don't know who the character is, and they're going to have to figure it out. But it's all going to happen when we reach your destination of Gorizont, which is where you are headed now. Given our last session, you each made your way to the lower floor of this clerical temple. You made it up here on the first of the 2 days that you had to travel to try and find Hugin and Munin, Odin's ravens, who you actually owe the feathers off your cloak back to. You also have been de-aged as you have come here, but not in real life. Sorry, B. But yeah, you are de-aged as characters, at least, by these clerics at the temple here. You have then taken your long rests. You have done what you needed to do in terms of downtime activities before we hit the session end last time, because we did a roll for Ferdinand Frog to see whether he could be trained up to be your familiar, etc. And we are now at the end of that long rest. No dream time, no visits in the night. You've just had a lovely, much needed rest. You wake up feeling so much more rejuvenated than you've ever felt before. Maybe it's the food that they give you at breakfast time. Maybe it's the prayers that they're saying in the other room. Maybe it's something in the air and the incense that you can smell wafting in on this cool, dank breeze within this cave system of a chapel. But there is something about this place that just gives you a level of comfort that you've probably not felt in a while. Each of you have been on the run from something or to something for the last few months at this point. It has been weeks at least. You've been going up and down the continent trying to prevent Ragnarok, and now that it seems to have occurred, you are now trying to fix it. As you all wake, is there anything in particular while you're all sat down to this lovely breakfast that they've put in for you that you wish to do? Anything that you all wish to say or do or get about as you are going about your morning routine? Aurelie is sat at the end of the table just sharpening daggers while she uses them to slice up some fruit.
So what are we going to say
Ruby.
to the birds?
Also, hi, Murmurs.
Who, me?
Well, you are a bird, so maybe you'd know how to talk to the birds we're going to go meet.
Why are we talking to my kind? Wait, Eric Cochran's or other birds?
Other birds, we have to return their feathers.
Well,
The whole point of
they
where we're
might
going,
speak
where we're
our
going.
language.
Aurelie points a knife and says, what they're talking about is Hugin and Munin, the ravens. That you'll be able to talk to them. Well,
I feel
Ash,
like we should probably apologise.
yeah, Ash, you would know that you can definitely understand what they would be saying, because the language that they wrote the note in is Aarakocran, and that is,
Yeah.
your language. That's your native language. So you would be able to read it or talk to them at least. But they are seemingly intelligent ravens if they're able to write notes by themselves. So yeah, you would imagine that there's going to be some level of conversation when you get there.
Well,
There you
I'm
go,
pretty
see. Saw
sure
you
I
in
can
chat.
talk to them. I mean, they wrote this note, right?
Yeah, but
And
maybe we should have an idea of what to say.
Welcome in, welcome.
I mean, I can translate. So whatever you guys come up with is probably going to be fine. Somehow we got the cloak, who we got it from. Didn't realize it was their feathers. We wanted to give it back.
Finishing the last of a pair. Arelli, speaking through chomps and mouthfuls, says, maybe Ruby's onto something and we should just, like, lead with an apology and see where that takes us. But I think maybe being respectful is just a good way to go forward with these people, because I don't know about you, but most of the people I've been talking to in this world seem to be pretty, I don't know, up their own ass.
Flexible.
Yeah. Also, did you guys notice that when we landed, we merged out of the mirror sort of side?
No.
Oh, would you
Well,
look
we're
at that?
fully in the we're fully in the material plane now. I had my suspicions, but as I've like woken up and been about my day, I've realized that like this is not, you know, well I've always called it the trapdoor. This isn't the trapdoor. This is you know, this is just the regular ass place. I think that maybe there's something about the temple that like pulls people in from other realms so that they don't interfere with it. I don't know. We'd have to ask, but honestly, that's my guess.
Do we have to get back?
Well, the question is whether the ravens would be in the mirror side when we get to Gorizont. Because if we're trying to find them,
Yeah.
then being in a different dimension doesn't really help.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we established that, guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure what side we're supposed to be on for that.
Great.
Well,
Didn't we send
I'm
a letter
here,
from this
but
side?
if we need to change back into it, then like we can. Well, I think it was when Azura brought us here that we like. I think that it was just something that we all came through together. Because I've not slipped us back into the material plane myself, and I'm a rogue. I can do that, but it's like, you know, it's definitely different. And I think that that's probably a good thing, because there's so many different realms that overlay each other, as far as I can tell. I mean, I'm no spellcaster, so it's not like I can weave magic like you can. But I'm pretty sure that if they're going to be anywhere, they're probably going to be in the main place, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is a good thing. I don't know.
Or they're not in the main place and they're in the mirror realm to keep themselves safe.
Only way we can find out is to get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With that, you wrap up breakfast. You get your equipment. It's been freshly cleaned. All of your robes that you may or may not have handed in have been cleaned, or at least tended to with the most respect that the monks here can do. And I mean monks in a clerical sense, not monks in a fighty sense.
With their dirty fingers.
With their dirty fingers. But they've cleaned them as far as they can, given the circumstances, and it seems like they've got a nice, you know, something about it. There's a nice herbal smell that's coming from them now, at least. It's not like they've got, you know, detergent in this world, but the closest approximation to it has been used to sort of freshen up your adornments, shall we say. As you head outside, you get up onto the top part. and you notice that although it still seems quite dark outside, it is in fact mostly just the shadow from the mountains that's keeping it that way at this point. There's not a lot of sunlight that gets in here since it's such a deep down crevice inside of this circular mountain range, this big like swooping trench in here.
We
And
should
so
keep going.
yeah, it feels like the day has already begun without you, and you are losing sunlight. So, as you get up to the surface, you see that the Minotaur is up here still, as is the Centaur, as is the Werebear and the Mage. They have continued their vow of silence that was broken when you guys arrived, and they continue that still. They regard you as you arrive, giving you nods of respect and deference. The Centaur steps to one side as you go to pass, but besides that, they remain quiet. Their main goal here is to just continue with their worships and wish you a good, wish you safe journey without saying too much, because they are doing their best to continue their vow of silence as they were when you arrived. Is there anything that any of you wish to do or say before you leave?
I'm gonna wave to them. I'm gonna wave goodbye because I'm gonna try to, respect their vow of silence.
Yeah. They give you a nice nod. They nod back. One of them smiles. The other one elbows them in the ribs. You're not supposed to smile. The other one says you're not supposed to talk. It doesn't help.
I go up to the centaur and just give him a hard handshake.
You break his hands from his prayer stance, and he smiles at you and nods and shakes your hand back, and then he puts his hands clasped together again in prayer. The four of them just continue to regard this statue in the center of them, and you are all returned back to the surface safely. You see that the stone golems around have maintained their positions and have not moved in particular. There were four of them up here. You notice them better now that you've got a good rest behind you. Maybe it's something in the food that helps you to see these things. Maybe you're just more perceptive now that you know what to look for. But either way, you approach this tired-looking archway that's definitely seen better days and has certainly seen many centuries. As you walk underneath it, you bid farewell as Ash moves absolutely everybody on the screen.
I did not. I don't know how I did that.
I'll just move you on your own, and then you can select it yourself. No, stop moving everybody. If you want to deselect someone, then drag the cursor anywhere else, and it will undo it.
I didn't mean to select everybody. I didn't know I could do that.
Apparently everyone's doing it.
On the way out.
Apparently
and just
everybody's
wave
doing it.
by.
Right. Stop moving everybody. I'm going to delete them. I'm going to delete them. I'm going to delete them. Now you can't move fucking anything. All right? There you go.
Look, it was an accident.
You made me
I'm
mad.
So sorry.
You've made the DM mad. Anyway, I'm joking.
And Ruby's kind of upside down.
Yeah, Ruby's upside down again because Ruby can only do movements in one direction, and that is upside down. Okay, so you get to the point where you are out on the front, and you can see already that Lady Azura, or Sparkling Swell at Neat Tide, as is her name in Draconic, is stood on one of the peaks nearby. Has already had breakfast. It looks like there is the fresh carcass of a mountain goat that has been picked clean. As she picks at her teeth with one of her front legs. As she does that, you see her in a moment of vulnerability, I would say. Because you are seeing again, as she stretches, you can see underneath that wing with the scales missing and the old wound that's never truly healed. But yeah, you get to this point, and she sees you, She starts to lope over towards you slowly. You see her claws clank into each of the stone crevices. And as she does this, you really get a sense for exactly how powerful she is and exactly how intense the blades of each of her claws are, as without even flexing, she's able to crack stones in two just by stepping. She's careful where she steps, but at the same time she approaches and lays down her wings ready for you to climb on top of her.
Before I do, I'm going to pull out the gem that I got for her and present it to her.
You take her by surprise. Her eyes light up. You are a different
It's
one.
for you. I told you this is a thank you. I wanted to get you something else.
Just remind me again, you went for something that looked like it was shaped to be akin
Her
to
colors,
like a
her
dragon
coloring.
scale.
Yeah, it was like shaped and her coloring.
Okay. She narrows her eyes at you. Give me a persuasion check, please. I'm gonna roll her an insight check. Okay. So she sees through your like what your position is, so she would see exactly what your intentions are at this point.
Yeah, my intentions are as a thank you because like
exactly
she's doing
that.
this.
And so
Yeah.
because of that, she can see that your intentions are good. And although it's a very forward thing on the second day of knowing a dragon to offer them protection, you wouldn't know this about dragon sort of culture. And so even without that, she takes this as a mark of respect, and reaches, like leans forward, opens her mouth just ever slightly, and then grabs the gem between her teeth and slowly but gently takes it from your hand, and then lifts up her one of her front legs and like tucks it into where the scale would go. It
Oh
doesn't.
no, it was a scale.
It's you. No. So where the scale would be, she's putting the gem there, basically. So
No, my character is like, oh no, was that a scale? I didn't know. I just wanted to get you a gem.
she's got this thing between her teeth at this point. So she's like, it's not. Give me a minute. I can't really talk at the moment. And she tries to fit it where it would have been, where the scales are missing, and she can't quite get it to fit. So she knows that she will need to go and see somebody about this. She lays it back down and says, "Could you hold on to this for me, and I will retrieve it from you when we part ways later."
Yeah, I can do that.
I know of two men who might be able to help me with this. I would not trust this to anybody else. Now, the day is already begun, and we should be 10 miles from here. Please, let us leave.
I gently but quickly clamber up onto her back.
Oh. Where does everybody hold on to? I know that everybody had particular places that they wanted to grab last time. We had somebody who was holding on to horns. We had someone who was holding on to the spines on the back. We had another person who was just like grabbing for all hell that they could hold on. I'm remembering that when you landed last time, that it was Mars's character Aldrin who lost like grip of
Mine too.
Sparkle as you were going down. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering
I did
whether
grab
any
them.
of you are doing this to sort of like secure yourself better than you were before.
Yep. Alden's gonna hold on to one of her horns if that's alright with her.
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap my bag that I have on my shoulder around one of the spines on her back and kind of like use it to like buckle myself in.
Nice.
Like wrap it around her and myself.
You can actually see, Mars. You see that there is something here that looks like it's sort of almost grown out, but not quite. It's not the way that a horn naturally grows, but there's a pattern here. It almost looks like somebody a long time ago, like centuries maybe, because it's worn down like an old statue would, had carved into the horns this like ornate pattern. This like a very distinctive, very particular, very beautiful, but still like a structure to it. Something rigid yet beautiful. Very, very Art Deco. It's very like much like that. But it's been carved into these horns by a very careful hand a long time ago. And they didn't get to finish the whole horn, as you can tell by looking at where it stopped abruptly. But it was very carefully and very painstakingly carved in, as best you can tell.
Beautiful. Looks
Um,
like painful though.
She hears Aldrin say that, looks back at you, and then looks forward and takes to the sky. As each of you feel this sudden rush of wind as she leaps up from where she was on the ground, not even spreading her wings yet, just with the power of her back legs, launching herself skyward. You feel the wind and the water vapor of the clouds fresh in your face. You feel all of it sting as you're getting so fast, so high, all in one leap. And then all at once, these 4 giant wings, glittering like a dragonfly's wings, spread outwards and fill the sky with this beautiful hue. You see the ground below as you've not seen it before. You see that the sunlight from the morning day has cast a light through the colours of this dragonfly's wings, this dragon's wings, and now you see that the mountains are covered in what look to be some kind of stained glass beauty as you start to fly off in the direction of Gorizont. Now, the hours will be going by faster than we can be here. I wonder whether there's anything that any of you would be doing in particular as you fly southwards across the land. And I will just take a moment here to bring up the map so that you can all see what you are looking at. Gorizont, again, is at the southeast of the map, and you were just at the Brand, which is in the centre of the Red Wall Mountain.
Ruby will, since, originally we'll be setting off in the mountains, we'll see if she can catch a glimpse of where the dear dairy might be, and just sort of think on those lives that have been taken, shall we say.
Give me a perception check. I'd say you could do it with advantage as well, because you know it well. 16.
Well, it's about cheese.
You see the dairy. You don't see anything particularly about it. It's going by so fast, and the clouds are going past you so rapidly that you can pick it out from the height that you're at above it, but you're not quite able to spot anything in particular about the place. Like, you can't see the people milling about, if there are any. You can't see any cattle milling about, if there are any. But you do see that there is still the river flowing from it. And the river at this point looks to have cleared. That it's no longer white with milk.
Nice.
It seems like it's now clear with just a regular running water. But the whole place is covered in a light dusting of snow. And you continue on south. Anything else that anyone else is doing at this point?
The swamp would be awful cold right now.
Yeah, again, give me a perception check. I would say that you're sort of far enough away from this that this won't be with advantage. Because this is going to be quite a distance from where you are in the air. Like, as the crow flies.
Perception.
Again, with a 14, you can see it. You can see the Tashurga swamp, but you're not able to really garner any new information about the place. It seems like it is definitely cold because it is covered in snow. But again, you don't really notice anything different about it. But it does strike you.
Aldrin's kind of whole point was to just see, does it have snow too?
Yeah, I would say as well that Aldrin being like 120 years old, it's been a long time since you've even known a winter reach the swamp like this. Normally,
Yeah.
the snow does not fall thick on the ground, and it certainly doesn't fall thick on the ground that far north. But you can see it stretching off all the way to the top of the continent, and you felt it in Dreidel. You've travelled around a lot. You can't remember ever the winter being quite this bad. Whether that's to do with Ragnarok or something else, you couldn't be sure at this point, but it's certainly significant.
Winter's gone incredibly far this year.
Anything that anyone else is looking out for or doing while you're up in the up on the dragon in this altitude?
Holding on tight.
Okay.
I have looking at the carvings.
Okay. You could let me see. Give me a history check.
Alrighty. History. Not bad.
You've seen carvings like this before. You can't really remember exactly where. You know that there's something in the Norse feel about it, that there's something Nordic in its structure and its arrangement, but you don't really know exactly what it is or who would have done it, or even what it means. You just know that it's some level of decoration that was created by a hand that knew the Nordic traditions, perhaps.
And it's more a pattern than runes.
Yeah, it's more of like a decorative pattern that either it has meaning like a rune, but you're not able to remember it based on your role, or it is something that is purely decorative, but you can't see that there is nothing else significant. You just can't quite equate what that missing part of your memory would be. But yeah, you get to that point. Now we approach the southern coastline now as we get towards Horizont. And as you each, let me just see if I've got a. We'll just use water for now since I've already got it up here on the hotbar. I'm going to be doing a lot of like moving around between maps, so I hope that you're able to keep up. At the moment, you're literally just looking at water, so don't worry if you're not able to spot this immediately. It will load up though, I promise. But yes, you approach the coastline, and this is where shimmering swell at neat, sparkling swell at neat tide lands with you all. You see ahead the ruined bridge towards Gorizont, and Ruby, you also spot those 3 people that you knew so well who have been hung from the side of the bridge.
Oh fuck! That was from so long ago. DMY.
You can complain about me to murmurs in a moment. You climb down from Sparkling Swell's back, Lady Azur's back. She takes back the gem from you, Ash. She shrinks down to a smaller size, doesn't go into a humanoid like image just yet, but changes back into like the smaller dragon size, and does approach you and takes this in her clawed hands this time. She looks at you like sincerely and says, I know that you don't fully appreciate the customs of the dragon kin, and I appreciate that what you did was something out of respect, so I will cherish this.
I just wanted to thank you again for the help that you've given us. We could not have done this without you.
You are welcome. I will, to be honest, I have been trying to avoid people for a long time for what they did to me. and I am pleased that the first people I find after such a long hiatus are your group. You have shown me kindness and respect, and I am grateful for that.
I wish you well on your journey.
I must leave you here, though. I need to return to the water, and you have your journey ahead of you. Should our paths cross again, I will remember you.
Thank you again, and be safe on your journey.
Aldrin, go with my good
Yes.
wishes. And if another of the Dragonkin questions your loyalties or your beliefs, you may use my name. If it should help.
So Aldrin's kind of standing there wiggling like a little kid, and then gives her a hug. And
She's
says,
completely floored by it. She's really not, like, taken back. She's not ready for this at all. But yeah, it nearly takes her off her feet, and she's like,
Aldrin then also says, "Thank you, and thank you for speaking Draconic with me. It's been kind of almost a first."
She replies in Draconic, "You are a precious kind. There are people who aspire to greatness and those who have greatness thrust upon them. There are those who seek kindness and those who seek only the kindness of others. You are a different kind. You are all of those things and none of those things, and I appreciate you. I think that should you take your full dragon form, that you would be a breath of fresh air. Pardon the pun."
Thank you for everything.
To all of you, I regard you well. Be safe. Be fierce.
You as well.
And if you need any dragon in future, you know where to find them. And she tips a wink towards Aurelie. Aurelie, at this point, for the first time you've seen her, actually blushes and tries to disguise it because she feels really embarrassed by the fact that she's just recognized her face has just gone red. And so she like brings her hand up to her face and starts looking down at her daggers again and sharpening them. She's sharpened her daggers so many times that in the time that you've seen her, she's obviously obsessed with them. It's like a stimming thing. So at this, Sparkling Swell at Neat Tide gets up and goes into the water, walking at first, and then the moment that she takes her full size, you see not even a drop of water is dispelled from the surface, as just with the most elegance you've ever seen a creature in your life have, she sinks under the waves without even disturbing a drop. And now we move on to the next part of our story. The time grows on, and you wade your way across the waters, shallow at first, deeper still, getting towards these bridges. The bridges that have been broken and pulled apart, the bridges that stand with single planks of wood holding the gaps together. You're able at first to find where the safe parts are, and then you start to realize that none of these bridges have safe parts. That this has been thoroughly and purposefully destroyed. Why? You couldn't tell. But there is something on these bridges, maybe even inside of them, that wishes for you not to cross. And yet you do. You have a mission, and you have ravens to meet. You make your way across as the sun starts to set. And as you see the final droplets of light shimmer across the sea out westward from you, the sky goes red, and then purple, and blue, and then everything grows dark. You are used to torchlight. You are used to having lamps on your walks. Even in the most treacherous parts of this world, there is usually some level of light to be found. Whether through the burning of bodies when you met the Valkyries, or through left behind candles in the abandoned shack in the wasteland. But as you walk across this bridge, you start to feel something different in the air. It's not cold. It's not movement. It's not wind, even. Just different. You put it to the back of your mind and you continue onwards. Together. You keep hold of each other together. You make sure that you cross together. Nobody is left behind. There are no rolls necessary. As you approach each plank, you each take time and care and attention. Those who can fly do. Those who levitate do. And you help each other across as one, as a team. As you have learned in the last months of this session, this campaign, to do. You have learned the truth and the reality of how important it is to be a team. And a team you truly are. Until you get to the other side of this bridge. If it can even be called that. Now, as you stand here, teamwork is not what is first on your mind. You each feel, although you are together, that you are so very isolated, even now. As you stand at the dim, dark shore of Gorizont. Sand underfoot, moving into rocky wasteland, with burned down trees, the sticks of shrubs, and everywhere, for those who can see with dark vision, who I know Briar has got, I think 300 feet, is it?
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. I
So the
believe I
two of
can
you-
give it to people as well.
You can.
60
Yeah, so
feet
can
for
I.
Ruby.
The two of you can see that there are these stone statues out here as well. But you can see that there are boulders and rocks. There are pits and trenches. There is waste that is not of an unnatural variety and not exactly of a natural variety. It's a mixture of everything. But there is something here that just doesn't feel right. And it isolates you, even when you are stood together as a group of 6. What do you wish to do at this point?
Does everybody want
I
to
would,
hold on to a rope together?
I would like to pull out my sunblade so that way I can shed some light.
Okay. Well, I will give that light to you then in form of this.
Okay, yeah, it says it's up to 15-foot radius for dim light with an additional 15 feet.
About
But
30
it is
feet.
Basically,
This is about that, I would say. It's about that.
yeah, it's
But,
basically sunlight.
yeah, well, let's be more accurate then and say, just in case anybody gripes at us for the actual size of the light that I'm giving you here, this is how far that would be. So you're able to wield this light as you walk forwards. And do you walk forwards? Where exactly? We're gonna move through this. We've got like 4 of these maps to get through today. But I don't want to rob you of any opportunity that you wanted to investigate the land, look at anything, find anything, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. I don't want to take that from you, which is why I'm showing you this now and asking you whether you want to do anything. What's first on your mind? So we've got Ash is bringing out the sunblade so that Ash can help shine some light on everything for everybody. Those people who don't have the dark vision up to 300 feet are not able to see these statues just yet.
Could I do a survival check to try to see if I see any tracks or anything like that?
Yeah, I will give you a survival check. A 6.
Very nice.
It's you struggle even to see your own tracks, even though you've got the you have this incredible dark vision. You're struggling at this point even to see those, as the water is like lapping up at your heels, since the tide is coming in and hasn't fully settled all the way up to the shore yet. You feel like the water is almost driving you inland, with the way that the tides are raising. You would do well to move inwards, or you are going to get wet feet. And no one likes wet feet, especially wet socks in shoes. Ugh.
Whereabouts is the bridge with my friends on?
Behind you, probably about 250 feet behind, is where it begins, and then it spans probably about half a mile.
I'm assuming I can't get to them in a very safe way.
If only I were stronger.
Are you trying to decide whether to get to your friends?
Yes. I know I shouldn't look at them. I have notes. I have it written down that I should not look. I think. Maybe it was at the friend. I can't remember now. I've been very cryptic. I'm trying to work out if I could at least try and put them to rest.
I think in a moment of weakness, you would have looked up at them, that you couldn't help.
Oh yeah, I will. Yeah.
But you don't find that there is any negative feel here. You don't feel that there is anything that is stopping you from looking at them. With the friend on your mind, is there anything that you think to say to the friend? Or any, like, absent thought that would just go out without you thinking to censor it from them?
It's more that I'm trying to remember this particular dream sequence, and it's rattling my brain, and I can't remember if the friend was insinuating that they had done this or not. So maybe that passes through Ruby's head is, did the friend do this?
I think that as you think on that, you feel that there is something there with you, but this time it is not beside you or behind you. You feel that there is something ahead of you, but you're not looking at it in the face, you're looking at the behind of it. You know, like where this is a real phenomenon that exists when people are at their most vulnerable in dangerous situations in extreme conditions, like say navigating the poles or climbing Mount Everest. They have what is it's colloquially called third man syndrome, where you think that there is somebody else there with you, and you see them vividly and have conversations with them, and they leave you at a point where you are safe. And many believe that it is a fiction created by the subconscious to guide you through it and to keep you alive. And then there are spiritual people who believe other things. I think that you probably don't see anybody ahead of you, but you get the sense that there is somebody ahead of you, and it doesn't feel like it's necessarily one of your friends that's on the bridge. It might feel like it is the friend who is the spider, who is the stranger. But you don't feel like you're looking directly at them. You feel like they're stood ahead of you, taking in the view just the same as you are, waiting for instruction.
Okay. That's going to confuse the shit out of Ruby. She's not the most brainy person.
I guess you get a feeling in your body, like in your mind, of there's two things that you can do here. You can either make efforts to get them down, or you can leave them here. What do you think would be Ruby's greatest instinct? What's her biggest yearning?
That's really mean. Because I don't want to be a dick to the party, man. But Ruby's going to want to bury her friends. She's not been able to do that. They've all just disappeared. This is literally a personification of everyone that she's lost. Has just disappeared. And she can actually bury some people. Oh,
Ash,
so that's Ruby's instinct.
Ash, you were going to say something a moment ago. What were you about to say?
No, I was just gonna say to the group that we should probably move inland, but I didn't want to interrupt what Ruby was thinking and doing.
I
Ruby will
think
do it on her
then
own.
I think then that
And I s-
everybody doing this moving onwards will say that this happened while you were crossing the bridge and that this was something that happened at the time. Rather than this encroaching on the time that you have left of the day. And I think that while you were there, that there's some part of you that wants to reach out for help. Not necessarily to the friend, but maybe to friends in general around you. And you're feeling maybe a little bit choked up by the idea of that, and two in your head about your friends being there in front of you and your other friends being there above you, and wanting to help all of them at the same time. And as you have this feeling, there's just some kind of like a flicker of something, and you see like the glimmer of like pale skin in the sunset and of emerald eyes, and then that image is just lapsed from your mind like it was never even there. And as you look up with that shimmer, you see that there are these tendrils that are reaching out gently, caressingly, like to, not caressingly, but you know what I mean, like to wrap and hold rather than to attack. And these tendrils that you've called on before to ask for help from the stranger, now they lift up these friends of yours from out of their restraints and carefully, slowly lower them down to your level. And there they are on the bridge beside you, laid there.
I guess Ruby just kneels down next to them, then sort of bows her head in a bit of sort of reverence.
It would be difficult to carry them across the planks.
Yeah, so basically
there's rubble around from the broken bridge, so you might be able to just bury them in the rubble if you wanted, like place a rock burial over them on the surface.
Yeah. Well, Ruby's considering that if she can't bury them in rubble is a bit easily sort of blown away, whether to burn them.
Aurelie offers a. You don't realize that she's been stood behind you this whole time, but you know she's a rogue. She's good at that, and she sort of like doesn't whisper, but speaks gently in your ear to say, like, not to startle you in that kind of way, but just enough to say, we could always do a sea burial. We are over the water.
Yeah, maybe that's most logical. Let's do that.
Returning them to the tides would be respectful, but would also, well, and she gestures her eyes towards the setting sun. Time is getting on, and there isn't much light. I'm sorry. I want to be able to give them the best send off. I can tell that they meant something to you. I don't know what, and you don't need to tell me. But I do think that we can respect their memory, but we can also respect our current predicament.
No, let's give them to the sea.
I think at this point, you guys would probably all have noticed that Ruby had lagged behind, as you're probably wondering why there's still somebody not coming with. So I'll offer it up to any of those of you who would wish to help out with this. Isabel, Briar,
Oh, definitely. Definitely
Ash,
I would.
Yeah.
Mars as well.
I think we all
I'll
would.
serve for moral support.
You all
elbows the clerics and says, "Do a prayer."
I think I would offer this as a suggestion, but I would also suggest that perhaps instead of just dropping them from the edge, that maybe Ash might be able to gently lay them down into the water, since you can fly down there.
Levitate them.
And
Yeah, do I gotta do a strength check for that though?
I'm not going to make you do a strength check, but
Okay.
we're not going to laugh at a corpse falling from your hands. No way.
Okay.
But yeah, you're able to respectfully carry them down to the water surface. You've made your respectful farewells and goodbyes. Ruby, you have taken enough time for respect and not so much time that you have held up the party.
Yeah.
And you've managed to make it across the bridge safely, and you are currently where you are now on the screen. So you've managed to do all of that. Is there anything in this area that you wish to do in particular before we move on to the next area?
Can Ruby do a survival check?
Sure.
Ruby's gonna one-up me.
Have slightly better. No, not by much.
No, Ruby's going to
Hey,
2
it's
up
still
you.
better.
Ruby's going to 2 up you.
I do 2 more.
From a 6 to an 8. Ruby, Ruby, you're able to see that your footprints are there underneath you, and you don't really see anybody else's, but that's about all that you can tell.
I'm going to
Yeah.
do a really weird perception check.
Okay, yeah,
hear me
go
out.
for it.
I would like to change into a wolf
Yes.
and use a sense of smell.
Okay.
Perception with smell.
Okay. And what are you smelling for?
Well,
Like, what is it that you're trying to perceive?
anything that's could be unusual. Maybe birds.
Unusual. Okay. Yeah. I got you. So give me a perception check with advantage then. We'll use your stat block instead of the wolves.
Smell for ambrosia.
Smell for ambrosia.
Dang it!
8. An 8 with advantage. You know what? This seems like a pretty usual place. This seems like just this is the most normal coastline you've ever smelt as a wolf. Nothing.
I don't think I smelt it as a wolf.
Nothing smells anything different to this than what you've known before. So yes, you experience this as a smell. Now none of you have moved even 5 feet, so I'm going to say that at this point the waves are starting to lap up to your knees because you've not moved anywhere.
Which direction are you lapping from?
You're moving from the top down. So yeah, you've come in because this is like the southeast of the continent on its own island. You've come in from the coastline and you're heading south. Now, as each of you get closer, I will say that those of you who do have this dark vision up to that long distance away, you are able to now see these statues a little closer. They're incredibly detailed. Like, such care and attention has gone into these stone statues, and they're of humanoids. They're of people. Walking, sometimes running, stumbling, but they are of people. And they look just so breathtakingly detailed. Very, very impressive stuff.
Any relation to the carvings on the fingers?
You could give me a history check. Anybody else who wants to do any kind of check, just throw it in the chat.
I don't need to do a check, but can I see? Do I have dark vision as a wolf?
I would imagine that you would, since wolves like do a lot of their hunting at night. But let me just bring up the stat block. Actually doesn't say that you do. Let me just see under. No, you actually don't. You've got it on hearing and smell. You have advantage on perception checks, but you don't have dark vision. It can be granted by one of these two, though, if they choose to grant it. Like Briar and
I'm doing it right now.
Briar and Ash can grant dark vision to everybody.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not
doing it right now.
Not at my computer currently.
Yeah, no, you're all good then.
Tummy ache.
So
if you wouldn't mind rolling or using that ability for me, so everybody else.
What I'll do to aid in
Perfect.
simplicity, I'm just going to change it from night to day so that I don't have to do, mechanical shit. But yeah, basically it looks like daylight to everybody. So now everybody can now see these statues, and they're all sort of like pointed north, like towards the sea, almost like these have been put here by somebody to like worship the sea or something. But each of these humanoids look very, very detailed, but they're walking, running, tumbling, but they're all facing the sea.
And the feet.
Just to verify, this is one of the statues, right?
Yeah. So these guys, yeah. Here, I'll like draw around them. So these are the guys that you're looking at. These guys. So if you see those anywhere, then those are the little buggers that you're looking for. They're everywhere. They really are everywhere. But
Am
yeah.
I don't know. I got an uneasy feeling. I don't know if those are statues.
Yeah, can I see where they're running from? Or walking from?
There's like an area south of you, but it's too dark for you to see even at that distance. You can see like up to a certain range. I think it's 300 feet, but you're only in like the first. I mean, mechanically speaking, you're on the first of 4 maps. So you know, as far as Foundry is concerned and this game session is concerned, you've got a long way to go before you reach where you're headed to. No true city in this realm is right on the coast when it's on an island this big. So yeah, you can head south. As you do, you see all of these different statues. You feel that the wind is still. You feel that there is still something different about the air here. Like there's like that empty feeling. You feel isolated, and you're able to look around at your cohort and remind yourselves that you are not alone and that you are with people. But as you walk through this area, you do get struck by just how many statues there are. They are of old people, young people, couples, children. They are of people who are headed north in all kinds of different clothes, all kinds of different species of races. Each of these humanoids heading north.
Can Ruby use that perception check she rolled on one of the statues, please?
Perception check. Oh, it hadn't scrolled. It didn't scroll for me.
Yeah, I did that.
I didn't see that you'd done it. So
yeah, Aldrin's history as well.
So with a 13, Aldrin, your history fails you at this point. You've not travelled anywhere to or near Gorizont before. And seeing these people doesn't remind you at all of the carvings on sparkling swell her horns.
But what about the finger rocks of like Kion
that too.
and Mafit?
That too. There's
okay.
Nothing here looks like it's carved in the same manner as those rocks.
Okay, cool.
But Ruby with a 23 perception check. One thing does strike you as incredibly odd at this point. Ruby in particular, with that perception check of 23, you look just southwest of you to this statue, and there is something about it that you have. It's sort of been preying on your mind since you started looking around at these statues in the nighttime. You've been seeing these statues around you and been wondering about them. And as you look at these, you notice that this statue in particular, as everyone's chatting, you are dragging my camera around all the place. You see this statue in particular. That part of you that grew cold when you arrived here, that part of you that felt empty, that you couldn't quite find a place for or put your finger on, now it clicks. Now you see what is wrong with this, and now you start to remember the weeks ago that you heard about Gorizont and what you heard about Gorizont. And it is precisely this. You see this statue, and you see that this statue has teeth. Nobody really carves teeth into a statue, right? It's a closed mouth, it's open lips, it's a hole where there should be a hole. It's closed mouth where there should be a closed mouth. This has got teeth, and not just stone teeth. These are enamel teeth. Real teeth. So either somebody has been making these statues with real humanoid teeth, or all of these statues are real petrified people. And it crosses your mind why they would be in this position. And that question that Isabel raised of where are they running from, where are they going to? These people were trying to escape, it's clear. They were getting from the south to the north. They were trying to get to the shoreline. And why? Why would they have been frozen solid in stone? Why would somebody do that? And that's when it dawns on you. That's what Merlin told you all those weeks ago. that people who enter Gorizont are not allowed to leave. Because if you leave, then the whole country gets dragged to hell. And that is when you start to realize exactly what you have just walked in. And oh boy, does it get a little bit scary. But now that you are here, and you have been faced with these frozen, petrified people, all of them trying to leave, all of them in families or solo or whatever they are, they've got their clothes and they've got their worldly goods about them, just the things that they could carry. And that's what you're all starting to see now. You see that these people are carrying just what they can to survive on, to get past the sea. And that is what you all start to see, I think. When you see the realization on Ruby's face, you see that everything here is a horror.
Guys, these are people.
Yep.
And they've just...
Yeah, the craftsmanship is great.
Yeah, I don't think they were crafted in the way that you craft, Ash.
More like they were born.
They were born, these were once people. And I'm slightly concerned the same might try and happen to us if we leave. Or try to leave. I think we're slightly shafted.
As you say that, we move on to the next area. You find your way further south, past the statues, to an area that is misty. Let me just go and grab your characters more. Hang on, that's not what I wanted. I wanted that. You get to this place that is misty. You notice that there are these like pinky purple gems like protruding out of the ground. There is a mist to the south of you and a wrecked cart over towards the east. The statues have ended at this point. You are on a dirt track. It is dry, but there is starting to get some moisture on it. Unusual considering that there is no water source that you can see anywhere here besides this mist. As you head south towards the mist, you hear what sounds like the thundering of 1,000 hooves. Like a huge battalion of people thumping and thundering away. But you don't see anybody in there. See all the way through. It's misty, but it's not completely obscured. There's certainly nothing in that mist that you can see. What do you want to do?
I want to look at this shiny gem thing.
Okie doke. Go and look at it. What do you want to do to it?
Oh, I'm not touching it. I'm just looking at it right now.
Okay. Tell me what kind of check you want to do. It's sort of... It doesn't look like it's particularly, like, hewn, so to speak. It doesn't look like it's something that was created with the hand of a master craftsman. It looks like it's more of, like, a natural thing. You know, like when you see, like, an uncut diamond? They're just very, like, rough, matte surface. They just look like a slightly transparent rock. That's basically what you're seeing here. They look... On the screen here, they look to be like precious gems in the ground, but in actual fact, they look like growths.
I want to tap it with my sunblade.
As you tap it, it goes red. Flashes red just for a second. And then goes back slowly to its normal color.
Hey Ruby, what's this?
Ruby watching that now is doubting whether she should have instantly palm striked it, which is what she was going to do, because she sees a rock, she wants to punch it.
Uh-huh.
But she feels like she should be wary. However, Bee's mouse is currently hovering over Rap of unarmed prowess, because she was going to punch it even before you'd finished telling Ash stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe don't do it.
I don't. But It might have something
I'm
inside.
gonna tap it again.
It flashes angry red.
Yeah,
Like
maybe
it's-
maybe you don't.
Like it's a natural thing that's
Oh.
throbbing now. That like it looks like it's got a throb and a heartbeat to it.
Not sound right.
It's a big protruding thing that's throbbing and hard. What do you want from me?
I want to run to it.
Yes. It is
I
a
want
crystal.
perception check.
It is a crystal. It is not anything else that your dirty, dirty mind might be thinking of, Ruby.
Did you say
How
instant check?
dare you?
I would like a perception check on the mist as the red flashes.
Give me a perception check.
I
There
see
is-
nothing.
There is a mist. It's a beautiful mist.
It's
It's-
foggy.
It sounds like horses.
Clippy clop. Fog.
Yeah.
Hey, Ruby. Do you
are
want
you going to
throw
punch
something
it?
at it first?
Are you going to punch it? I need an answer to this question. So
Me?
that we can move on. Yes. Are you
I'm
going
not.
to
I
punch
wasn't
it?
going to punch it. I would have kicked it otherwise. No, Ruby has listened to Ash and saw the angry throb and thought better.
Okay. So we have an angry throb.
She's just
We're
gonna,
moving
yeah,
on
she's
with
just gonna
the
be a
angry
pussy
throb.
and
Okay.
wander off.
Great.
I'm
So
still
then, go on.
a wolf. I'm still a wolf. Am I
You
like
are
getting
still
any
wolf.
sixth sense about this thing? Like, should we stay away, sort of thing?
There's
Like animal
nothing-
instinct.
There's like nothing on the air that you can smell or hear that's different about this thing. You are starting to like suspect with the mind of Isabel that maybe there is more to these than meets the eye. But what that is, you can't quite put your finger on it, or your paw, for instance, for that matter. There's something about it that just doesn't. It doesn't really strike you as good or bad or indifferent. It's just there's something about this that you're unsure of. As Ruby casts Detect Magic, it takes you 10 minutes to cast this as a ritual spell, but you do cast it.
Yeah, Soz.
And while you're stood here for the 10 minutes at night, in the dark, in a foreign country, just to remind you all.
I was taking a while to work out whether to punch it or not.
There is powerful magic about this thing.
What type?
Like,
Rock type.
as almost as many destructive types as there are destructive types. Like, enchantment...
Oh,
Enchantment and destruction and just every type that basically it always comes under the caution in the magic section. You know what I mean? Like when you're reading through a reference textbook about spells, these ones would be listed. These schools of magic are always like caution, use with care, that kind of thing. All of those types essentially. So destructive magic and transmutation magic and conjuration and enchantment magic and all of those things that would like particularly transmutation. Transmutation is the biggest part. But you get a sense of all of that sort of weaved together in unison as one big thing.
you're making her more excited at the idea of seeing what happens if she punched it, but she will resist.
Is this the cat in you just like not knocking
As-
it off the table thing?
As your DM, I would say you may attack it if you wish to. As your friend, I would say go and fucking do it. See what happens.
Part of
but-
me
Wow!
Well, that's
Part
just
of me
me
wants
saying
to
that.
turn
That's not
into
the DM
Archer
saying
form.
that.
and like shoot the cluster of 3 right here, see what happens, but I'm not gonna.
Okay.
But part of me wants to.
Okay.
Ash,
Is-
do
What? You want me,
Do we
you want
do
me to shoot
do
it?
we? Well, you could shoot it, and I could punch something, and we could see what happens.
Well, go punch the cart.
Aurelie walks
What
up and
happens if
says,
you lick it?
Aurelie walks up and says, "Is there something about it? I'm not magic. I don't know what I'm looking at. What?
I think it might go boom.
Yeah,
And
it's
you
very,
want-
very
If it goes
powerful
boom,
magic.
And you want to punch it?"
No. If I want to shoot it, but if it goes boom,
You-
it might clear that mist.
Aurelie shakes her head and just walks forwards towards the mist.
Eltrin
We-
goes with
Be
Aurelie.
careful.
We have time that we don't. We're using time that we don't have. We need to keep moving. If you're gonna punch it or shoot it, punch it or shoot it, but we need to move.
Well, now I can't do it because she's in the mist.
I know.
She
I
moves
guess
on
we're just-
forwards into the mist.
I'm gonna punch someone else later.
It's probably gonna be me tomorrow.
Did anything happen when she went in the
I
mist?
didn't say if that was in character or not.
There is no. Hey, I don't care. Either way, it still works for me. Nothing in particular happens as you enter the mist. No, you do hear the sound of hooves, but no, nothing else. You head into the next area. There are gems protruding through the ground in this area as well. But now you approach what looks to be some kind of a farmstead. This farmstead has gone to bed for the night, of course. The lights burning a dim light on the inside are just candles, but those shining on the outsides are there to ward off predators. Those seem to be brighter than the ones on the inside of the house. Each of these places seems to be well tended. There is quite a nicely kept crop garden to the west. The building itself is small and is nicely, adorned and kept. Only the smallest of things needed there for a simple life, a simple happy life. There are stables where there are 2 horses. They are cart-bearing horses. They have also rested for the night, but they are like Shire horses. They're like thick, meaty legs, not built for riding on, more built to toll the fields and to drag a plough. And then further south still, there is the workshop, the area where people would go to sort of keep everything together and tend the tools and all of that. Now, as you head towards this area, you do see that these crystals are starting to grow in size. There's more of them, and the clusters are slightly bigger as well. Is there anything in particular that you wish to do?
No, I don't really want to wake anybody up.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody
I
else
mean, 'cause-
concerned that this kind of seems like a ranch?
Yeah, but if it was Ox's ranch, then he wouldn't be able to leave.
Plus, isn't Ox's place north? This is very, very south.
True. Okay.
We
Just
need
my
to.
brain.
We're at the end of the
Might
second
just be a
day.
farm.
We still need to find the ravens, or we don't know what's going to happen. That note didn't really explain a lot, but I don't want Odin's ravens to get pissed at us.
We gotta find them.
I feel like we should
Let's
just
go.
keep moving.
Yep.
You head south. You go past the farm building and the stables too. As you get to this point, Ruby, you notice that there is a tower here. It is a tall black marble tower, perfectly cylindrical. In fact, as it reaches up into the sky, you struggle even to see its point in the darkness. There is nothing about this tower which has anything in particular that really strikes you as unusual, apart from the fact that it is an incredibly tall, incredibly smooth black marble tower. There is no light shining from it. There are no windows. There are no doors. But here it stands, about 20 feet across and reaching up as far as your eyes can tell. How far further, you don't know. But it is there.
Quite the obelisk.
That's a big tower.
Anybody else moving south to see this, or are you staying up north so you can't?
Moving.
Just move your tokens so that I know exactly where you are. You each get to this point, and you are struck by this thing as well. It is a tall, very, very tall tower. You see it in the darkness, but even your night vision is not able to help you up to that point. And you also see these crystals. They are littering the ground. They are small, they are large, but they are here, and they are everywhere. You continue
Little
south.
shiny rock.
And now you approach a different place altogether. This place does not seem to be the same as all of the other places. Those places were rural. Now you have approached what looks to be a cathedral with a graveyard alongside it. Everything is well cared for. There is no moss on the ground. There are streetlights. This seems to be the beginning of a city. And as you remember from the maps, this would be the city of Summergate. You are now in Summergate at night. There are no folk around. There are no people guarding the place. It just seems like a very peaceful, amicable area. Everywhere is green. Everywhere has been taken care of and has been, what's the word? I can't think what the word is. I've been thinking about it. I've been trying to figure out what this fucking word is for the last, 20 minutes, and I can't think what the word is.
Manicured?
Manicured. There's a good one. I'm sure that's a synonym for it. But yeah, everything seems very manicured. Like everybody is taking very good care and attention to all of it. The crystals are not quite as frequent here. You don't see them anywhere here on the map, but they are large and they are just outside of the where you would notice this map ends. There is another tower over here, just to the south, beyond the cathedral. But you can see here as well that there is actually a paved road that you can walk down. There are many amenities as you look across this graveyard towards what the rest of this city looks like. You can see that there is a magic shop and a brewer's building, like a tavern. You can see that there is a baking shop and a butcher's as well. There is a potions lab and just a regular old inn. A tavern just the same as any other. Is there anywhere in particular that you guys wish to go to?
I think we should not cut through the cemetery.
I think that's wise.
I think that would be a good start, yes. Aurelie goes with you. I mean, do we normally just go to the nearest tavern?
Is that
what people normally do? I don't know.
Well,
Briar,
it's night time. I don't think we should go to a shop.
Katie, are you coming with us down here? If you are, then move your token.
She had to go back onto mobile, I think.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I don't think she's at her computer.
That's fine. I hadn't seen that. So yeah, you get to this point. You can see that the entrance to the cathedral is over here. It is lit on the inside, but the doors are closed for the night. There is a garden over here to the right. It's well cared for, well, catered to the masses, but nothing out of order. Just looks like a beautifully well-appointed garden. Over the grass from you, you can see that here are the walls of the tavern, and here is the giant stone tower. And you can see down here as well that there are alleyways that lead to where the rest of the streets go. You also can see that down towards the end, you imagine that this would probably curve around and meet the other road at the end. But there's no signs saying keep off the grass. And with that, Aurelie takes that as an invitation. I think I'm going to be naughty. Starts walking her way down towards the street, where you see her disappear behind the front of the tavern.
Should we stop her?
I think we should follow her, at least see what she's
I'm
doing.
gonna follow.
Okay.
I mean, if she wants to be naughty, it's not up to us to tell her no.
Is
Well,
it
I
not?
mean, where do you think a couple of godly birds of wisdom and knowledge would hang out?
You
I don't
hear
know if they'd hang out where booze is.
you hear this ungodly growl, like something out of a nightmare, something that sends a shiver up your spine if you were to hear it in any other context. But a second after you hear it, you realize that it is not an owl bear, nor is it any other kind of bear. It is Aurelie's stomach. Aurelie has not been fed very well in the last few days, and Aurelie is looking with a salivating smile towards the door of this tavern and is ready to barge through the door.
Nighttime.
Should we get some cheese?
I mean,
Does
look,
she eat
I
cheese?
kind of think that maybe we should just come in and see what there is. I don't imagine that anywhere else is going to be open at this time. Maybe you like notice that Aurelie is speaking
No.
incredibly fast now. I think that maybe
Aurelie, I
think maybe
agree
we
with
should go
you.
inside.
Let-
Why aren't we going inside? I'm really hungry and I'm
Let's
kind of thirsty
go
as
in.
well. We should just go inside, right? Let's just go inside.
You okay,
Go, 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 go.
Go
Yes,
in.
yes.
She pushes through the door. Oh, it is open. Okay. She takes up her spot in the corner.
Right, Rev. I don't know, Master Wolf.
Help. Really got
yeah,
stuck
you're
a wolf.
under someone else.
Who's under what?
I'm stuck.
Where are you? I don't see you.
It's a point.
I'm trying to find you.
The person.
Under this guy, maybe?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you
Thank
walk
you.
underneath the new character? You climb underneath him immediately. God damn
I
it.
couldn't see. The door was closed.
It's definitely
Anyway,
creepy.
I just moved the token and then I was under someone else. Sorry. That's not a proper greeting.
at this point, you each enter the room. There is no
You need to
barkeep.
Sit on somebody.
There is no barkeep. There are no staff. But there is a staff in the hands of an elderly gentleman sat in the middle of the room. This man looks old by his beard, which is about the only thing that pokes out of his large cloak. He wears a hooded robe that goes down to the floor. It is a deep, deep red, quite patchy in places with more blacker areas. He has a long and straight staff, which is broken at its tip, like it was a branch that got cut and carved into its current shape. This character, if I show you, has this grey beard, has strong hands, has a satchel around his neck, and has these, like, roughly spun together clothes that are stitched and patched at the edges. He looks rough around the edges, but he seems to be keeping himself to himself quietly. He has fur around his collar, although you have noticed that winter has not reached this part of the world. Where it covers everywhere else, Gorizont seems empty of snow. There is no snow here. Yet here this man sits in all of the warmth of winter with no winter to speak of. David, we are now with your character, and you have just seen a party of 6 enter into the tavern doors. Not many people come in through this place very often, and certainly not new people. Is there anything in particular that you would say or do at this moment?
Tourists.
Hmm.
And the character just sits back in his chair and takes a long look at the entire party, eyeing them up and down quietly.
Are you the one that offers food in this establishment? We got a very hungry person.
Food. Huh. Well, I'm not the barkeep, if that's what you're asking. But, I guess help yourselves. I wouldn't really care.
I look over at Aurelie.
What do you say to Aurelie?
Well, he said help yourself, so I guess that means dig in?
I don't need to be told twice. Aurelie runs towards the bar and just starts digging around underneath it, trying to find whatever pitchers, whatever glasses there are. Doesn't seem like there's anything alcoholic in this place, she says. But, you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. I'm going to grab whatever I can. And she grabs snacks, and she grabs breads, and whatever stale pieces of meat that there might be. Whatever it is, she grabs all of it, and she walks back to the table and just starts handing bits out sparingly to people. Aldrin first, you get just a big splashing potion of something. It looks like it might be a potion of libation, who knows? But it's a potion of something weak, if that. But yeah, you feel maybe a little bit invigorated as you drink it. But she just pours it down her throat until it like soaks down her cheeks and into her clothes. She doesn't seem to care. And the rest of you continue unaccosted by Areli.
Okay. What's your name?
Are you asking me?
Well, I know everybody else's name, so yes.
Well, that is a good question. I've somewhat forgotten who I am.
And how does one forget who they are?
Well, I've had a very long life, and it's been complicated, to say the least.
Sounds
Did
like
your-
Jack.
You know, you're not wrong.
What are all of your names? I don't recognize any of you. Well, I did call you tourists, didn't I?
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I'm Ash.
I'm Aldrin.
Woof woof.
Yeah.
I
The
forgot.
wolf,
Ruby.
the wolf barks. Yeah.
Well, you can be lucky the barkeep isn't here. I don't believe he enjoys having animals in his establishment.
I'm not an animal. Neither is Ruby.
Yeah. Rude.
I think he's talking about me, but
Well,
Woof, woof, woof.
you can't say
Woof,
that.
woof, woof.
You're only just going woof woof woof.
Okay.
Yeah.
woof 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 woof. I'm trying
I
to
think they
explain.
might mean Isabel.
Yes, I am referring to the wolf.
That's Isabel.
Isabel, maybe you should, come back to us.
Unpuppify.
I'm just gonna mess with you guys. I'm just gonna stay here just to make you look like you're crazy people. Huh?
I'm also just messaging you something, David, now. Just a quick thing. It's not come up yet, but so you know. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
the conversation continues as you do it. What else do you each do and say? You go about your business. You can continue this conversation. What do you want to do?
Have you seen any ravens?
Ravens.
Yeah.
Well, now that you mention it, I've seen a few in my lifetime.
No, I meant here recently.
Well, can you describe them?
Woof woof
Black
woof. Woof woof woof.
birds.
Sorry.
Can anyone translate that?
Meow meow
Just
meow.
being a brat.
Meow 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 meow.
Ah, jokers, are we? Well, come to think of it, I may have seen some ravens. Not too long ago.
We've got a meeting with a couple of them.
Oh. What's it about?
feathers.
Seems pertinent when
Yeah.
talking to ravens.
Quite.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you find them. In the
wait.
meantime,
Whereabouts did you see them? You said you saw them recently, right?
oh yeah, I did, didn't I? Well, first, would you mind grabbing a drink behind the bar? Something strong. I feel a headache coming on, and I hate to have that headache while talking about those ravens.
Ruby flexes a bicep
I
and
was
then
gonna
lifts
do a
up
medicine
any
check.
drink she finds.
I was gonna do a
Okay.
medicine check.
All right. I want you to give me a roll to see just how good of a drink you're able to find. And
It's a strong drink.
yeah, no, I want to see this. I want to see this. Okay. Give me an athletics check.
Terrible.
Oh.
Done. Okay.
7.
Oh dear.
You find a keg and you are desperately trying to lift this thing just to look like the big person, but you struggle and you have to put it back down again. Ash, do you see this and try to give the help action or not?
I mean, I can try.
Ash, I will need you to roll an athletics check to see if you're able to do this. Wow, a
Nope.
nat
We
2.
both rolled 2.
You both rolled a nat 2. So between the two of you, you managed to knock over the keg and pour all of the fluid over the floor.
Okay. I'm going to
God.
disappear. I'm going to disappear.
It's all over
You're
my
good.
boots.
What?
Isabel,
Sorry.
what?
I was going to disappear behind the bar, roll the dice, and see if I could lift it as one.
As a wolf?
It's
No.
already been knocked over, but you can
Oh.
roll it still to see how much you can save.
Okay, I'll change back up behind the bar just to mess with people.
So you're going to change back into Isabel as you get behind the bar as a wolf.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. So Isabel moves behind the bar and just shapeshifts back into humanoid form as you get there. Give me a roll.
Yeah, I got it.
17. So as these two knuckleheads manage to knock over the only keg in here, Isabel turns back into a human behind the bar, padding through all of this wet like drink, whatever it was. Whatever it is now is just, floor water. And you manage to pick up what is left of this keg. And yeah, your feet are wet. You've got most of this drink has left the barrel. But you've got this wooden keg now, and it seems like you're able to lift it just well enough. Do you head over to this stranger at the table?
Yeah.
Okay.
No explanation whatsoever. I just handed the what I could find.
Then David, your character sees a wolf walk behind the bar and a human walk back with like an 80% missing keg of whatever this is.
That's quite a neat trick you have there.
That's Isabel.
I bow.
Well, hello there. And what drink did you bring me? I see a lot of it's on the floor. And my feet are very soggy.
It smells very
Just
herbal.
wicked.
Well, I guess it will have to do. Bring the keg over, and I'll make do.
Okay, I bring it over.
Do you drink straight from the barrel here, David?
I will attempt to, yes.
I would like for you to give me an athletics check as well.
Let's see.
Let's join the spill club.
No, I haven't used Foundry in a long time.
Now you have to roll a 2. That's the rule.
You may do so in the above the text box in chat. So it's
Yeah.
chat that you want to get to.
Yeah.
You'll want to change the drop down box there to a private role, so that other
Right.
people can't see it. But I will be able to see
Or
it.
Is it self roll or private GM roll?
Private role.
I can't see it. I see
Self roll
public.
means that I can't see it, but private GM role works.
Okay, private GM.
And then go onto your character sheet by double clicking your icon, and then whatever it is that you want to roll, you just click on.
I can't see my icon for some reason. Hang on. What? Why is my screen black? Okay, I'll read.
Yeah, just reload the page. It is there.
Oh, yeah. Let me see. Reload the page.
I can roll it for you now if you want while you're doing that.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So I'm going to do it as a private roll. And you get a dirty 20. So please describe for us how you are able to lift this barrel up.
So the character, as you see before him, thinking he's quite old, maybe frail, just picks up the barrel two-handedly and starts pouring down whatever remains of this herbal smelly ale thing or whatever.
Strong tasting, maybe not necessarily alcoholic. But yeah, certainly it's strong flavored. Very strong flavored. Now I'm gonna ask you another thing. When you're tipping your head back, do you think that you have any conscious thought towards your hood? Because I'm not sure that you would, but I will take your interpretation.
I don't think that I would either. I don't think this character would care.
So you all see this person lifting up this keg. He lays down his staff against one of the chairs just so that he can grab it again easily. As he picks up this keg that is mostly empty at this point, but there's still a good, 10 jugs worth of fluid in there. This is not a small jug. Small barrel. He lifts it up and pours the whole thing and gets quite a lot of it in his beard. A bit more hits his neck. Some of it just happens to catch him in the hood and knocks the hood back by just enough that some of the people on this side of the room, Aldrin, Arelli, Briar, and Isabel, who has stood right in front of him because you brought it over to his table. Those four, not Ash, not Ruby, you can see, just for a brief moment, that he's missing an eye on the left side. And then you put down the barrel again onto the table. And the hood remains where it was.
Now, Luke, before we continue, for some reason I can't choose the designated character when I've reloaded the page, so I can't see anything. When it says user configuration.
User configuration.
Yeah, it's just redone itself.
I'm gonna censor the page then. And we are going to... Yeah, I'll censor the page so that stream can't see all of my inner settings and stuff. But give me 1 second and I'll be right back to stream.
It did.
There we go. We're back, and
Huzzah.
all is fixed. So you're now able to open everything up. Great.
Yes.
I think I remember what happened now. I went to set you as the owner and realized that none of the previous user accounts from our previous campaigns are selectable, and so I then went off to make that, but ADHD brain forgot to remind me to come back and make you the owner still. So yeah, you have a user account, but you're not the owner of the token. Now you are. So yeah, you are the owner of this token now. You can do what you like. But yeah, you so your not your casual slip of the hood happens for just a moment. And I think that now that all of this libation has made it into your throat and making you feel all of these different, warm feelings inside, by nature of its, herbal properties, I think that you might start to feel a little bit easier with the tongue, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So. You were looking for ravens, was it? I feel my head clearing a little bit. Would you happen to have a name for these ravens? Or are we just looking for two needles in a haystack here?
No, they have names.
Great. And what might they be?
I know one's Mugen.
Yeah, they're in Hugan.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Now,
we got an invitation and we have to go meet with them.
Mm-hmm.
you got an invitation here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to see it? I don't know if you can read it, but here, I'll show you. I'm going to pull out the parchment.
Cool. So you get to see this parchment, David. This is written in Aarakocran, which I don't believe you can read. Actually, no, you would be able to, because you... Yeah, no. So you would be able to read this. So this is Gorizont 3 days.
That's a clear message. Gorizont 3 days. Yeah. Don't really have a question about it. Now you're looking for Hugin and Mugen, was it?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
They are... How can I put this? They are a little bit of everywhere all at once sort of type of thing. I don't know when they'll be back or when they won't be, but I have seen them. They're around. But you wanted to talk to them about feathers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Returning them.
We need to give them back.
Oh, I guess that's why one of them was really pissed the other day. Well, then, you're here. Like I said, I won't exactly know when they'll be back, but in the meantime, we can wait here and get to know each other a little bit, I guess. Seeing as I don't see a lot of new faces, or old ones for that matter, now that I come to think of it. Where is everyone that I know?
Ruby had an old face for a while.
And B's
Right.
got one now. Hey! I'm gonna feel this tomorrow. Ruby's just walking away, muted, I might add, and walking away, not saying a word.
Rude. It's fucking rude, man.
Oh god, I couldn't resist. It was right there on the table. I had to leap on it.
I'm guessing it was a sensitive subject.
Yeah, she's a lot younger these days now.
Actually,
it's only been a day.
Ruby's doing an incredible backflip outside, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make
I
herself
am
feel
young.
better.
I'll
Yeah.
prove it to you. I am young.
She was proving it to herself.
You know what, Ribs? I'll join you.
Let's see how
Because
good
I
this
Are
was
you
all-
gonna do a
backflip is.
backflip too?
Yeah.
Isabel tries to
Fuck's
do a
sake, Isabel.
backflip. Isabel tries to do a backflip and does what you see in those like Instagram reels of like fails when people are trying acrobatics, and you just face plant into the ground. But thankfully, you're a barbarian and you brush it off. You barely feel it.
Well, jumping wasn't my
Ruby
forte
is
anyway.
laughing quite hysterically now.
As the two of them continue with their hijinks
Shenanigans.
outside, what does the conversation turn to inside? Aurelie at this point has completed what massive just feast that she just had, and walks over, staggering from the sheer weight that is now suspended in her tummy, and she sits down across from this person and says, "You didn't tell us what your name is."
Well,
That's Aurelie.
"I'm Aurelie. You didn't tell us your name."
quite blunt, aren't you?
"Yes.
Aurelie, he
And-
said he didn't remember his name.
I don't believe you."
Well, what's to believe, really? There is the truth, there is lies, there is something in between. And I frankly don't care anymore.
Can I ask you a question, sir? Are you friends with Hugin and Mugen?
Friends? Yeah, I guess.
Of a sort?
Yeah, I guess we could call ourselves friends, associates, partners.
I have an idea as to who you are, sir.
And I should care why. I don't remember who I am. Quite frankly, don't care who I am. I've been here for as long as I can remember, and everyone that I've known is gone. There's some new faces come, they go, they disappear, they turn to stone. They agitate those sparkly, shiny things in the ground.
Oh, the angry gems?
Yes, those. Do you know how many times I've stumbled across these grounds and stubbed my toe on one of those smaller ones? It's annoying.
That's gotta be a pain in the toe.
Did they explode on your toe?
Not just from the stub, wait, they can explode.
I assume so. They got very angry when I tapped it with my, and I'm pull out my sunblade with my sword thing. This.
Oh, well, I mean, wouldn't anyone be kind of angry if you slapped someone with a sword?
But I didn't do it hard. I just tapped it.
But they, I mean, I stub it. I mean, that's an accident. I can't see very well sometimes, and especially in that freaking mist around everywhere. But I see a sword as sort of a threat.
Ali King
myself.
36 is an
And
absolute
again,
Chad.
Maybe they just respond in ample force.
I
Welcome in,
resheathed
Harley.
my sword.
Welcome. We're D&Ding. How are you doing?
Thank you for putting that away, by the way. It's very striking.
Yeah,
Aurelie-
it was helping us see.
Aurelie turns to Aldrin, and some of that potion clearly made Aurelie a little bit like not quite seeing. I think it was you get the sense that she's probably drank some kind of a potion of night vision, and all that she can see now is just pure light, and so she doesn't quite know what she's looking at. And so she sort of like turns towards Aldrin and does that sort of like really clumsy thing where she doesn't realize you're stood directly in front of her. And she like hits you in the shoulder with the back of her hand accidentally, and is like, oh, Aldrin.
Yeah.
Aldrin.
Yes.
Is-
Yes.
You're the one in front of me, right?
Yes.
Okay. What were you saying? You think that you know who this guy is?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
think it might be Odin. If I'm getting it right. Hugin and Mugen's fella, he gave up his eye for him.
So you're just gonna mention what I look like, and I'm very sensitive about the eye. All right.
I'm sorry, but it is a mighty big thing of you to do if it was you, sir.
Now, the fact that you would call me Odin, just. Huh? I can tell you my name, alright? Fine. You know me as someone else. You might have heard me as, now I don't want to brag, but been out of the game for a while, you know, but still, I might still be, you know, a famous name here and there. I am known as the Yule Father. Nothing, huh?
Wait, you
I don't think you're my dad.
can I do a history check?
Yes. You may do a
Yeah.
history check. A
Never
History
4.
mind.
checks all around.
Ash knows nothing about nothing. A 17. Aldrin has heard the term Yule Father before.
Can I try and do history check by my knowledge of the book?
Yeah. So I'll give you advantage with your history check. Because you've got this book.
Never mind.
Still,
I mean, it makes sense why I don't know anything. I am a hermit after all.
So we don't have audio from Briar, and Briar's not able to control a thing. Briar, did you want to have us roll a history check for you?
I'm back at my computer. I can.
Ah, lovely. Do you want to roll a history check? It's your choice if you do. 21. That's
Nice.
incredible. Briar, with that history check, you do recognize the term Yule Father, but you also recognize all of the other names that are like connected to it. One of which does actually include Odin. Yes, Harley, of course. Sorry, I am seeing your messages. I'm balancing so many other things all at the same time. I'm good, but
Odin,
obviously
right?
we've got this going on. Glad to see you here, and thank you for the follow.
Fine, I guess you found out. Yeah, I'm Odin.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the same Odin that we've been looking for to return the feathers?
I think so, but I think we still need to find Hugin and Mugen in order to return the feathers. They belong to them, right?
Yeah, they are their feathers. But
Yeah.
perhaps we should tell you how we came across them.
Please do enlighten me. Haven't
Okay,
heard a good story in a long time.
So I'm going to delve into the story of basically we got it from Rumpelstiltskin, who gave us the cloak for free at that. And then once we figured out that it was Hugin and Mugen's, like, we stopped using the cloak, and now we're on our way here to return it. I'm going to tell them about the dragon and everything along the way.
Okay. You say that, and you hear the like flap of something on the wind outside.
We all hear it.
I think that those closest to the door probably do. I would say that probably Aldrin and Aurelie and Briar probably not. I would say that maybe Ash, definitely Isabel and Ruby, because you're stood right by the door. We've probably got about like 5 minutes left of this session. We normally only stream for 2 hours every Thursday. It's
No, but I
7
speak
p.m.
Eric
till 9
Cochran.
p.m. British time.
I'm going to go outside.
Cool. You don't see anything in particular to begin with. I would like you to give me a perception check. A 21. A dirty 21. Look at that. You do see that there are 2 ravens against the dark of the night, both flapping against the moonlight. Just sort of like doing that thing that I don't know if you've seen corvids do it in real life, but they like grab hold of each other's legs and like cartwheel around in the air to just have fun and play. They're very
Yeah, I've seen
intelligent
that.
birds, yeah. And ravens are incredible. They've got the largest brain for their body size of any bird, as far as I can tell. Well, from what I've heard anyway. But yeah, you see these 2 ravens that are flying out in the sky. And I will just give you artwork for that 1 second.
While you're doing that, I'm going to tell everybody inside. I'm going to be like, hey, whoever has that cloak, come outside right now.
As Ruby steps outside, you notice something in the air change as the birds don't continue cartwheeling. They change to like a float, like they're gliding on the breeze.
I'm going to kind of like step between them because I don't want them to think that Ruby's a predator.
Ruby, what are you
Right.
doing with the cloak at this point? Is it still in your bag?
If I've clocked that the ravens are outside, Ruby would have like very rushingly dug this cloak out and is probably like on her knees holding it raised like in an offering way. Ruby is panicked to shit.
I am going to say hello to them first in Eric Cochran.
Okay, so you say this before Ruby comes outside.
I say, hey, whoever has a cloak, come outside, and then I turn to them and I say hello.
Okay. So I would like for Ash and Ruby to roll initiative to see which of you acts first.
Finally get to roll my own initiative? Wow. How do I do it again? No, don't do it.
Ruby gets a 19 and Ash gets a 14. Ruby manages to get outside before Ash can say to them, hi. And so Ruby manages to pull this cloak out with the feathers, and the 2 of these ravens see you and spin menacingly down towards you, screaming in their raven calls as they do. And that is where we're going to end this session.
Oh no, Ruby.
Ruby knew she was fucked. She's scared. She's a scared little tabaxi.
Yeah, so I wanted to do my raven call, but I don't know if my microphone would just peak and cut it off on the mic. So I just don't want to
Would
kind
you
of do
like
it.
to pretend to be a raven for a bit?
And like everybody is like got like low spoons today, so I don't want to like, overwhelm anybody with too much of a loud cawing noise. So yeah.
Do it.
Like that kind of a thing. As close as I can
Okay,
manage.
we heard nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
All I heard
Yeah,
was,
Discord just cuts it off. This is what I'm saying.
So-
This is why I can't do karaoke on Discord, because it just cuts off my loud
So
voice.
just record it and then like. Play it as a
I go
soundbite
by
for us.
Jackal, but yes, Harley. What would you like to say? Say again, sorry.
So you're not Corvin blocked.
Oh, record it and send it to you? No, absolutely not.
No. I said record it and play it as a sound bite.
No, I'm not putting it on a soundboard. It'd be easier to send you a file. How about I move to the other side of the room and try it from there?
Yes, do it.
Okay.
Sure.
I heard a squeak.
You're not hearing it? That's it.
No.
That's all. That's all I've got for you.
we
That's
got
all I've got
nothing.
for you.
We got nothing.
Discord doesn't like loud noises. Discord shields
Apparently
people from
Stream
loud
can
noises.
hear it.
Yes,
Yo,
Stream
Stream
can hear
can
it.
hear it.
Stream can hear it.
Oh wow, really?
Stream
I
can
wanna
hear
hear
it.
Oh,
I've got my OBS settings set perfectly so that it doesn't even peak if I speak loudly. in it.
Perfectly.
It caps the volume so that people watching my stream aren't deafened. I am
that's
that
fine, I'll
much
just
of
rewatch
a
it.
conscientious OBSer. and I am a brilliant BSer. So, thank you,
You
everybody.
said it, not us.
You have met Odin! And not only that, but we managed to get the incredible lilting voice of David, our Swedish friend, to come in and do it for us. David is going to, so long as David is free to be able to join us, you've said that you're going to be able to stay for as long as the party has Odin with them, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's going to be fun fucking tastic for us.
So you're a Swedish
fun
friend. Do you
times.
also speak Swedish?
I do, yes.
Jastrottning.
Oh, he
I have
taught
no idea.
he
It just
taught
means yes,
me.
queen.
Exactly.
He taught me the most amazing phrase in Swedish, and I've never learned any other Swedish.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Jag är så sugen på en varmkorv.
Exactly.
And what did you
Music
just
to my
say about
ears.
my mom?
It says it means I am so in the mood for a hot dog. Yes,
Okay.
Holly.
I
What
know
would you like to
something
ask?
about a hot dog, but I couldn't remember if it was a tree stole my hot dog.
Oh, I did answer the question before. If you
I answered your person in chat, by the way.
Yeah, I did. I did. I had answered it before. I'd muted to Discord. I'd said that we've got probably about another 5 minutes. I don't know whether that got missed because other people were talking at the time. But yeah, we've probably got about like 5 minutes because we were getting up to the end of stream time. But yeah, normally it's between like 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. British time, which we've not gone into British summertime yet. So if you're in a different time zone, then you've got that to think about. But yeah,
Like me,
it's,
I'm 1 hour
that's
in the
when we stream.
future from the UK.
Yeah. So
So
right
what
now
was it
it's
like?
right now it's 10 p.m. for David.
Exactly.
Jeez.
What's 10
It's
p.m.
5
like?
p.m.
Let's
10
see if it-
p.m. here. It's dark.
Yeah, it's 5
it
p.m.
is.
here right now.
I can tell you it's dark. It's cold.
It's only 2 p.m. here.
No, it's actually
Yeah.
the sun's out and it's kind of warm.
Sun's out, guns out. Sun's out, buns out.
Wait, no,
Yeah.
no. Just because I'm American doesn't mean that.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
That's the funny thing. We had like 15 degrees Celsius
Why?
on Monday with sun. And you can have sun, like it's thin jacket, sunglasses, all of it decked out. And then the next day, snow.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
No, I mean that's the same as here.
So
Yeah, it's
earlier
just-
today, I went out in shorts and t-shirt, and it's -1 degrees Celsius, which is below freezing for our Fahrenheit friends. Fine.
Yeah,
it's just
Fahrenheit,
fine.
Guys, just get on the program.
It's a
Celsius.
bit of a
is-
nip, but you know it's
It's
fine.
been -1. Has it?
So it's
Well,
on
it's
the
chilly here, but
temperature
not-
app. Yeah, on the weather app, it said that it was 3 degrees, but felt like -1. Which I'm just
Oh,
like,
I-
if it feels like -1, then why don't you say that it's -1? Why are we fucking around with weather feelings?
Okay, fine. I have translated mine to your units, and it is 27.
Degrees Celsius?
That's so
Yeah.
warm.
Yeah,
That's-
It's 80
hot.
degrees in freedom
That's
units.
hot.
Ow.
That's hot.
That's hot.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Where are you
I
living?
know.
Jesus
You just
Christ.
got global warming.
In the States, Indiana, I'm a landlocked state.
Wow.
Which is weird because landlocks don't they usually get colder than the coast.
It's extremes.
That's why we're not
Mhm.
freezing at the moment.
Yeah, it's
'cause I'm
very
in the
warm.
coast.
Yeah, you get very warm and very cold, right? Because it's landlocked.
Yeah, during the summer it's the worst because it also gets really humid.
Hmm.
Well,
As fascinating as this conversation of weather that I dragged us into has become,
Your
why don't we see who we're gonna raid today? Have you got any thoughts, or are you continuing to stream tats?
I am not, but one of my friends who raided me last time is on if you want to raid him.
Sure.
He's playing Halo, and I think he's playing it with his community. His username is a fat man in a chair,
Love it.
and he is indeed.
Yes, Harley. I do go by Jackal, not
It
Jack.
is
He's a
awesome.
lovely, he's a
But
lovely person.
what would you
he
like to
really
ask?
is. His name is Derek.
Do you
Very
have the username for me? And yes, David.
Yeah, there's the person calling out for you in the chat on Twitch.
Yeah, I
Charlie.
mute to Discord whenever I speak to chat.
Ah.
Yeah, I did just say to them, what would you like to ask me? Usually it's just because I go by Jackal, not Jack. Just to say that, that's all. A fat man in a chair.
Yeah,
That's-
that's what I said. His
Hey,
name is
man.
a fat man in a chair.
Hey man, that's however you want to identify, that's cool. If you're all about that, then I'm all about it too. So let's go. We're gonna raid out to this person. They're a friend of Tats's. We love Tats, and so we respect and love Tats's ideas for who to raid out to. If you Moobot hasn't got the thing here, I'll copy and paste it myself. If you are followed, then you can use the first message. If you are subbed, you can use the second. And I hope that you all have an absolutely lovely night. Murmurs, I am speaking to you directly now. I need you to continue to bully B about being old. Thank you. I will see you personally, B, tomorrow.
She's older than me.
Yeah, I'm older than you. I'm 10 years older than you, and I tell you all the time that you're older than me. What the fuck do you think this is?
To be fair, they said, never mind, I won't say
On
it.
it, Jackal, don't worry. Great, we've got this. Between you and me, Murmurs, we're going to make Bee's life hell, and I love that for us. Right, we are going to raid out now. Thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you for being awesome. It's been lovely as usual. And thank you, David, for coming in and joining us. It's been wonderful having you here. It's been great DMing for you again. It's been so long. We need to do it again soon. But remember, everybody, be good to yourselves. And if you can't do that, then at least have fun. Goodbye!
Bye.
Ta-ra.